Woods, Hakeem Woods. I grew up in West Philly in the ghettos, low income area. I have 8 siblings, and my parents, they raised us kind of with knowledge, philosophical process, how they raised us. They were members of the Nation of Islam. So at that time, I went to Sister Claire Muhammad, which was a school, a private school, and then I transitioned to the Philadelphia school system. And, that system is not really the best. When you go out to recess, it's blacktop. The lunches are not the best lunches. So you're growing up with that. But at the same time, a good thing happened at that time, hip hop. It just got started. So, like the elements of hip hop, when you're with your friends, breakdancing, rhyming, beatboxing, DJing, we discovered a new culture, and it was phenomenal. So that's kind of quote unquote my groundation of my social world. One thing, like I said, when you growing up in West Philly in the ghettos and stuff of that nature at the time that I grew up, a lot of racial profiling, even though we see it today with the Black Lives Matter, that was still going on, with me during the 90s. Marcelly Anna Morgan is the founding executive director of the Hip Hop Archive and Research Institute at the Hutchinson Center for African and African American Research. She was doing an interview with the Harvard Gazette, and the article is called Protesting Police Violence, a Playlist. And they asked Marcellina Morgan about police brutality. And here's how the Q&A started off. This is just the beginning of it. Gazette. When you think about issues of injustice and police brutality with racism at its core, how do you think about it in terms of hip-hop? Morgan states and answers. We can start with Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five 1982 song, The Message, which is the first prominent hip-hop song to provide a social commentary on issues affecting the Black community. It begins early with the words broken glass everywhere and jumps right into a scathing critique of everyday urban life, especially in poor Black communities. Then it moves into more and more detail about racism and white supremacy in particular. Early on, one of the things that I immediately noticed about hip-hop lyrics was a social critique and exposing injustice the moment the rhyme starts coming. Being in hip-hop, you start to see videos, music, you reading books, you reading magazines, all different kinds of things. You're seeing people that look like you, they sound like you, they acting like you, they rhyming like you, and you start to get influenced and happy about that, and you start creating your own social world. So with that, I started publishing my own books once I started learning how to do that. And you want to publish your own raps and publish your own books. So I literally started getting money together and doing my independent books, movies, stuff of that nature, trying to do your own thing. And that's what I did, because hip-hop is timeless. It's ageless. I want to improve my presentation of my message, though, which is one of the reasons I decided to get in sociology, because you have to know how to tell it. You have to understand the methodology of what you're doing, so you want to kind of integrate that research. Well, for one, I'm a transfer student from Temple, so communications was my major. That was the thing that I thrived in. Doing music videos, creating T-shirts, hip-hop minds, comic books. See, me, I can draw from both theories, macro being and micro. Macro because you're dealing with law and order, public health, gentrification. Then you're dealing on a micro level. Me, I was what you call a TSS staff, and that's a therapeutic support staff that deals with students, and you're dealing with their behaviors and kind of like a behavior of people
face-to-face social interactions. That's what you're dealing with, and you're teaching them how to cope with those issues.